Hello, welcome to the program Big Talk on Global TV. My name is Topsy Gimba. Global TV, you watch us on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times 276. Of course, Big Talk is a program that comes to you at about this time where it takes a look into national issues with people who make news to speak to us on those issues that are trending in the society. Indeed, you all know that Nigeria is again being faced with the issue of, in the oil sector, so to speak, where Dangote, as a major individual who produces and refines petrol, is now at a standoff with NUPENG, that is Nigeria Union Petroleum Natural Gas Workers, are not so happy with what's actually going on since he came on board. Of course, by the time this particular refinery was established by Dangote, most Nigerians were very much happy because they felt NNPC was actually monopolizing the entire sector, thereby causing a lot of havoc in the economy and the suffering for Nigerians. And so when he came up with the idea of establishing his own refinery, it was greeted with a lot of jubilation. But today, we are singing a different song. And right now, as we speak, strike is looming within that particular sector. And when it happens, and that means something dangerous is going to happen with Nigerians. We all know that petroleum stands as the only source for Nigerian economy, where people in the market use it to carry out certain basic necessities. But if that happens, like the way we're hearing from various quarters, and that means we have a long way to go. And that's the more reason why Global TV stands out to discuss this issue for Nigerians to get to know basically what's inside it. We have the privilege with us in the studio, live and direct, Professor Emeritus in the person of Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. It's a pleasure having a program to look into this issue holistically, sir.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah, Prof, you all know Dangote is a business mogul. He has a refinery. And before he came on board, we had what we call NNPC. And when fuel is produced, there are off-takers, those who carry it from the depot and they distribute it to the outlets for people to use. And since he came on board, looking at the way Nigeria petroleum refineries have been, they have not been working optimally. And so the need to have a private individual like the way Dangote is became so important and necessary. But today we're hearing a different thing altogether. Since he came on board producing closer to about 650 barrels per day, things are not working in the way they should be. And for the fact that he's operating as an individual, since the product means for everybody in the universe, he is doing it in the way that he doesn't want to affiliate himself with the NNPC. And those who are being in industry, particularly these truck drivers, they are feeling a little bit sidelined. They see it as a dangerous move and monopoly on the side of Dangote by employing his own and buying tankers to carry his products to anywhere he wants. What's your take on that?
Oh, well, I want to look on the area of NUPEG. NUPEG is a union which is a junior union for junior workers in the petroleum and gas industry. So they are not Pegasan. Pegasan is for the senior staffs. I don't think Dangote Refinery has accepted or the engagement agreement has included NUPEG. If he has no such agreement, there is need for discussion and rediscussion to become a member of NUPEG, and if he has accepted or his staff has accepted to join the union. As far as the talk here is, the union has not been inaugurated in Dangote Refinery. I don't think the management of Dangote Refinery has any business to do with NUPEG.
Okay.
The institutional body system in dealing with our sectors here has actually discouraged a lot of investors coming in. The game plan is that why will I establish a refinery and want NUPEG or Pegasa to bring in their policy into my private business. Remember, these unions were formed when there was a need for commercialization of our industries. They have no policy framework that says that you must be a member of NUPEG to run your business, or a member of Pegasa to run your own business. If that is being done, then most of the private investors will have collapsed into ASU, whether non-academic or the academic session.
Yeah.
This is a private business where I give and dictate how much I pay my staffs. And I agree with my staff what is their take home.
Yeah.
Bringing NUPEG in is an intrusion to frustrate an investment.
Okay. But Professor, I thought there are laws that bind the operational attitude of every Nigerian worker, whether he works with the civil with the government or private, because labor as a union stands to protect the interests of every Nigerian worker, wherever you are coming from. In the case of what we are experiencing today between Dangote and NUPENG, it's a clear case where if it's allowed to continue in that trajectory, it's likely to affect what appears to be in the oil sector as dangerous moves and monopoly.
The Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers is a union formed for a reason in the 70s, collapsing into the 80s, the early 80s. This union, if you look at the management, let us not even go too far from when people like Ovie Kokori took over. Till date, what protection mechanisms have they given to workers? Because when you say you have a labor union, the labor union is supposed to fight for the right of the workers. What have they given as a palliative or as a way, as a socom to workers in Nigeria? I'm just using Nigeria as an example.
Yes.
These people has not in any way, the executive has not even protected the interest of workers any day, except themselves. So if you go by that route or that route, you find out that what is the policy framework? What is the principles of concept that establish this union?
Prof,
I'm coming.
Let's look at it this way.
Remember that even the government also have an industrial court where you can take your grievances to. So you must not be a member of a union before your issues are being addressed.
Yes, that is known. That is known. We should just narrow down the scope of this issue to just the salary per se. But again, when you are coming up with an idea or a particular policy, either you are operating as an individual or with government, you have to look into the future to be able to determine whether or not it's for the benefit of the society. We know that the product that is called petrol is basically a universal product for everybody to have a say in it. As much as it is actually exploited in Nigeria, doesn't really mean Nigeria has a total monopoly over it. But again, there are people who are working inside. And if a person comes up like the way Dangote has come up to do what he is doing by establishing his finery, and then sidelining what the original template that has been on ground, maybe buying tankers for himself, interviewing workers who are going to drive these workers without any fallback to NUPENG that have been in existence for a while. And these bodies are known with the labor union. To what extent can you now say going forward if that is allowed to continue?
There is no way, there is no union that engage or employ workers for the administrative and management of sectors, private sectors. Unions are interface when there are crises between workers and the management.
Yes.
The principle of concept here is not lined down. And I will tell you for free how many people who were members of NUPEG died in Kaduna Refinery, in Warri Refinery, in Port Harcourt Refinery, even in the Nigerian Gas Company. So many. What did the union do to compensate their families? Nothing. So
yes.
Are we going to continue to rely on a union that is fighting for their own personal interest?
I don't think so.
Or we are going to get a union that is an established factor. And why did I want my own personal investment to be overridden by some people who don't know how this investment goes through?
And I think before that could happen, like the way you are saying it, if Dangote was going to go into that particular business, I believe he must have understudied the law or the principles that governed the sector. I do believe that he would have established a refinery without having to do with issues relating to unionism.
There was no law that says you must belong to a particular union.
But as much as you are working.
No law has said NUPEG must impose itself on Dangote Refinery.
No, it imposes itself on workers that are working with this thing.
They were not there in the rule of engagement.
Yes.
If we bring the proposals, I am not here to defend Dangote.
Yeah,
but if you bring the proposal that establish Dangote Refinery, NUPEG, Pegasa, and those unions were not among it. As you have, and Dangote Refinery has kicked off some time ago. The union were there. They did not say anything. The time of negotiation,
what would they have said at the time he was building the refinery?
When the construction was going on,
yes,
they never came in and said, Dangote, you should include us as union members. Were there no people who were building these refineries? Were there no junior workers at the time of the foundation of the refinery? They were. Which union?
Is Prof trying to say? Are you trying to say, Prof? Let me ask you this question: are you trying to coming up with an insinuation to prove the case that an individual who establishes a business has a sole honor of doing whatever he wants to do with the worker, even if when they are paid minimally? In the case of Dangote, one of the things the NUPEG leadership is angry with is the issue of even low payment to workers. And again, the trajectory he is following is anti and monopolistic in nature of that particular sector. And the fear here is to every Nigerian worker has a say or an agreement with NLC or labor union, so to speak. So if they realize that a particular organization, though private, is conducting itself to a crash with workers, you mean they should not talk?
The question here is, if you are talking of what they earn, the government itself has said the minimum wage is 70,000 naira. Is he paying below the minimum wage as uttered by law, or is not paying at all? Because you can only start defending somebody or prescribing some laws into some and make up a policy framework when you know that that person is acting out of the box, when the policies are not in favor of you. But the first take here, which I have said, is that the union has no right to impose themselves on a private institution. I gave you a point here known private investee that they are members of Academic Staff Union of Investees. So they run their investing calendar uninterrupted. That is why everybody is going there. You can't invest your money. I don't think anybody there will be able to invest 1 billion and above US dollars and now come and you dictate your tune. The workers are not complaining that they are being underpaid.
Okay, let me ask you this question, Prof.
Yes.
Petrol, as it is as a product, is a universal natural endowment given by God.
Yes.
But it's domiciled in some countries, but not necessarily for them, without having allowed some other persons to come and invest in it. It's a universal product. Unlike the example you gave with the universities, private and public. This one, whether you are in Saudi Arabia or you are in Brazil, there is a body that calls OPEC that controls how much each country is supposed to produce in a day, and then sold out, and it is sold out to the countries in the world. That shows that that particular commodity is strictly for the universe, not just for you, though it's domiciled in your own country. Then secondly, let me ask you this question, Professor. If Dangote is allowed to go by what you are saying, who is going to suffer? If at the end of the day he decides to say he's selling the product, probably maybe 200 or 20,000 naira per liter, simply because he's operating as an individual, who suffers? That's the place union will come in.
The issues that you are getting wrong here, you are linking OPEC with a refinery owner. OPEC is a regulatory body
for that particular product.
Yes, it's a regulatory body
for that particular product, sir.
Yes, a regulatory body. You can't compare a regulatory body to a non-regulatory body. NOPEC is not a regulatory body. NOPEC is a union to
I'm not comparing. Why I brought about the issue of OPEC, sir, Professor. I brought the idea that it's a product that is controlled by the universe.
Yes, that is why.
So it means it's for everybody.
Yeah, so that is why I'm saying it's a regulatory body. OPEC is a regulatory body. The union is not a regulatory body. Then I will also bring you back. If you go to Croatia, we have INA Industrijani that has a refinery in Croatia. Let me use INA as a case study. Apart, the INA suggests they take decisions every year on how to increase salaries and how to pay compensations and how to give allowances and the rest. The government of Croatia has nothing to do with the management and administration of INA. That I know very well because of my own personal relationship with INA Industrijani in Croatia. So you cannot come here now and start telling somebody who have invested his billions and said, we are taking these decisions for you. Did you know how much time, how many years that it will take them to recoup what they have invested?
It's a long-time business.
So if you allow, let us not talk of long-time business. If you say there is a long-time business,
yes, you will make your money as time goes on.
Then Kaduna Refinery will have still been in existence. Port Harcourt will have been producing to maximum.
That one is sabotage, Professor. These ones you are mentioning,
so are they not?
They have been sabotaged.
Are you saying that they are not sabotaging Dangote now? If it starts to buy and build to their bidding, it's not being sabotaged.
It's not yet there.
If you know that I am not satisfied with the engagement, the rules of engagement says that I should pull out. So are the staff complaining? And if you are complaining, go out. Nobody is forcing you to work.
So are you of the opinion that federal government does not have a say in whatever happens? Now, the question here is, if the Minister of Labor and Employment,
the government,
who is an appointee of the federal government, who acts on behalf of the federal government, and anything happens like the way it is, we are beginning to hear.
To me, if I want to really calm down, if I were the president of Nigeria, I would have removed labor and employment from my detailing as a minister, or anything called Ministry
Labor
of Labor
and Employment?
Yes. What input are they adding? Because all these things
Are you saying that they have not stepped into the issue, that phase of, or the standoff between Dangote and the Nupeng? If they don't, and anything happens, who suffers? That question I ask you. We in Nigeria will suffer.
Let me bring to you some of the unions that are approved by the Ministry of Labor. If we look into it critically, are they supposed to be in existence? Motorcycle union, motorbike union, bicycle union, food part union. All these
unions
are they supposed to be actually
Amala unions?
Are they supposed to be unions?
They are Amala unions.
No, are they not registered by the?
They are not registered by anybody. I don't think if they are registered.
They are.
At the local level, possibly.
It's not local level. By the Ministry of Labor. So you see, even if, do you say the National Union of Road Transport Workers has any regulation, or the Road Transport Employees Association of Nigeria has any regulation? But they are registered. Or don't you hear the case of a whole family that lost their life just last week?
Yeah.
So
these ones are touts.
No,
these ones are touts.
No, everybody.
Because they are not
everybody tell you they are touts, but goes to Beja today and see their activities. Goes to Area 1, goes to all the places in Nigeria, in Abuja, and Asokoro, AYA, and see their activities. Has anybody ever arrested them if they are touts?
Okay, let me take you back to that.
The same chairman of those unions comes out, immediately you confront them.
Let me take you back to Nupeng and Dangote stand off. If federal government, you all know that indeed already we are sitting at the check of a gunpowder. That if nothing is done very, very quickly, as said at the prologue of this program, that strike is likely looming in the country. And when this agency, Nupeng, decides to go on strike, and that means there wouldn't be supply, there wouldn't be taking of this product from anywhere where it's been refined to anywhere across the country at all. And that becomes a very big problem. Why? Because we use petrol, though not drinking it, but we drink it in a way. Because movement of goods and services are all being done using this particular product. And government is also aware that if it does not step in and they decides to fold its arm and allows it to happen that the way we're beginning to hear, and that means the country is going to be in chaos.
I think I was privileged to be in this country when the protest of removal of subsidy or no removal of subsidy came in. And they said they should not remove subsidy. And I can tell you, I wouldn't want to quote figures here, how much went under the carpet by oil importers to these unions, the executives of the unions, to cause scarcity in Nigeria. So who is actually sponsoring and financing them? Somebody did that to create insecurity, to create empathy, to create fear and fear in the minds of the leaders who are there, who don't know what they are to say to galvanize their ways out of these kind of issues. We should face reality. I am not a good fan of Dangote himself. But then, let the truth prevail. And the truth is that the union, whether we like it or not, has no right whatsoever to bring pains to the whole nation for their own selfish interest. They should give us the account of their activities from the time the union was established till today. And let me point to them what they did not do right and what was injurious to the people. You can't take decision for a whole nation by one union. How many people are members of the union?
Well, here's the thing, Professor. Dangote, as a private owner of a refinery, like you said, he has a right over the product he refines. He might just decide not to sell to Nigerians, but probably taking it to some other countries for people to enjoy and decide, because since it's a private business, he has established and is making money out of it. If that argument prevails, are you of the opinion that he can now decide to do whatever he's about to do or is even doing because he is a private person who has stepped into the oil sector, and therefore we shall allow him to milk us and do whatever he wants to do, and the workers should be sidelined? Is that what you are trying to say?
It's not. He has not even. We are not talking of oil pricing yet.
No, in any situation,
wait.
No, it's so cancerous.
No,
it's cancerous. As it goes on, it's like a wound that is not treated. It will not escalate to a certain level.
Jimba, let me be very frank with you. These issues that are playing out are the issue because the regulatory bodies, which is the Nigerian medium and downstream sector regulatory commission, has not been able to sit down and address the abnormalities. That the union has no reason to do it. And I can tell you for free that in this case, the executives on NUPEG has been bought over by some saboteurs who wants to use this opportunity to make sure that the government import fuels into the country. And I'm saying it without any atom of reservation.
Is it an established fact, what you're saying?
Yes, that is what they are doing. I'm saying it with all open authority. They are only trying to sabotage this, using it as a union. These are gang-ups that we have seen over time. People like Isele and the rest, we know them when they were in the union. They created all this fiat. Even Ajero should tell us the truth. Let us not play the cards.
As if what you are saying, these unions, particularly the labor union we have in Nigeria, it's not really doing anything. And probably by your own insinuation, it's clear that indeed some of them are fifth columnists who are there with this face, but inside is a different thing altogether they're trying to carry out.
I know of a member of the Nigerian Union of Electricity Employees that was electrocuted in Abuja. He's a member of the union. Has anybody of the union visit his family to pay condolence? So what are you protecting?
Professor, this attitude is common with Nigerians.
No,
but that doesn't really mean the law is not there.
What is the manifestos of the union? What did you write there as your manifestos? In your manifestos?
It contains one of these things.
So when you are not acting in that, all you want to do is just to come and garnish organizations? Is that what the union objective means, aims and objectives are? We should know what are the aims and objectives. What are in your manifestos? What are you protecting? Are you protecting, you just want to barge in and say this is a union, what proposal have they given to Dangote to bring in this union to the state?
We were all in that fight together.
I'm coming. Why is it that it is NOPEG now? Is the unions in the cement industry? Is it in the sugar industry? There is no union in other labor.
They should be there.
So why is it particularly about
that sector?
The refinery.
That particular sector has its principles that govern their activities. Or should I say laws that govern?
The same set. A union is not a body that it is. It's like now. I am here. I'm from Bauchi State.
Yes.
And the union, Bauchi people has an association and union that are propelled in Abuja. I have a right not to attend their meetings. I have a right to excuse myself. I have a right to not to associate with them. Are you going to force me to say I must be? Because that is what they are doing.
But Professor, there are premise, there are foundational layouts for everything that wants to operate smoothly unhindered, that everybody who finds himself must key into it. In the case of Nigerian worker, whether private or public, there is a way his activities are being monitored by the body that's called Nigerian Labour Union. And that body supervises who the employer is with the employee. So that what is due for the employee, the employer gives. And the labor union watches whether or not there is an abuse of the workers in a particular establishment. In this case, sir, what this NUPENG are looking at is if they don't rise up and talk, the tendency here is that low payment is given to workers, the buying of tankers, doing interview without a cost to them, will become a very, very Herculean task in the near future. And so he needs to be curtailed.
I want to ask you a question. Is there any organization that belongs to a union in Nigeria where the union is involved in the employment or engagement of staff by the organization? Whether private
I'm not
or
supposed
public.
to answer, but I can tell you that they don't, but they monitor.
What did you monitor? You don't monitor what you don't belong to. Let me tell you something. We have the American Association of Electronics Technicians. We have American Association of Builders. We have these associations. But I will tell you, let me bring American Association of Electronics Technicians, for example. Let me use them as a
case
studies. Now, that association was formed by just 25 people. Today, there are thousands, if not millions, of technicians in that association. Do you know what they do? The association look at every parameter of these members and re-engineer them, refinance them, re-equip them, retrain them in every atom of new developments. If you look at our electronics appliances today, we no longer use diode and ICs and the rest. So if you are the one that was trained with diode and ICs, what do you do these days? That means you have fallen out of place. And that is what is happening here in Nigeria. But there, you are already retrained. They refinance them. What is these unions and associations doing for Nigerians? You pay dues and they don't account for these dues. They don't do any training. They don't reestablish anybody. They don't do refinancing. They are not empowering anybody. So let's know where is this, what is the impact of this association?
The impact is noticed with the check they embark regulating the activities.
What they just want to do is how to go to Dangote, exploit the workers by paying dues to them. Finish. Who do they account for?
Dues?
Yes. Every union deducts dues from people's wages and salaries. But what is the impact on you on the final day? Do you go home with anything? Do you go home? Do you know that
Professor,
being a member of a union in UK and you are already going on retirement, the union has a percentage of amount they paid to you. Which percentage of amount has any union in Nigeria ever paid to any worker?
That's a different milieu. That's a different environment.
You see, so it is always different, but you should know that we copied all these details from the foreign land. I don't think my great-grandfather was having any union in Nigeria. I don't think so. So the union were a copy, and we are not coming to modernize it, to bring new light to it, so it becomes everybody fighting on a seat home.
Yes.
That this is where I can feed myself.
But Professor, you know that the society is dynamic. It grows.
So what?
And this society grows. We have reached a stage. We have reached a stage where humans are expected to be managed in the way that nobody falls out of place, or being subdued, or cheated, or either putting him in a very hot seat, sort of. And that's why these unions are coming up, just to ensure that you are not being manipulated. You simply become just a tool to make money for a person who considers himself very strong in the society. And if that does not happen, if they don't do it like the way they are doing, certainly some of us wouldn't have been here.
You see, we are not in the era of slavery. I can decide to go to anywhere. People do voluntary jobs everywhere in the world. Some of them do it because they want to do it. Let me use a case of my own mate that works with Technotrade. Technotrade is his own great-grandfather's company. But he went there as a volunteer to learn the processes, how it works. Today, he managed Technotrade. But he went there as a volunteer. Yeah, we talk of mentorship. How do you mentor somebody who has no same belief, who has no confidence in you, who has no same ideas, who just want to steal from you your intellectual, your wealth, your experience overnight without working for it? Whereas mentorship is not something I will impart on you today. I will galvanize and use it tomorrow. Mentorship is something I am solely imparting on you over the years, looking at the dynamics of your weakness, your balances, and your rises. So your growth templates are already put under index. Yeah, what is mentorship here? Mentorship is a different thing entirely here, because somebody wants to live that mentorship, and that is why we don't have loyal subjects. So in the union are not loyal. They are not ready to serve the people who brought them as executives of the union. It is a periodic class and categories which are not inherited in any way, unless in mind of those who set out to it as one of the privileged groups.
What you are saying to some of us here.
Let me tell you, the dynamics here is that I went out, formed a company, borrowed or did self-financing, come down, look at my plans, because there is something we are missing here. When I want to develop something like a refinery, I am supposed to have my plans in my propositions. This is what is going to take me to build a refinery. This is what is going to take me to sell. This is my marketing. People don't know that there is a difference between sales and marketing index. These are my marketing index. This is my sales index. This is my risk index. And this is my management index. This is my administrative index. And this is my operational index. This we have to you bring together on the table. So at the end of the day, what is my profit and my loss? And how many years is it going to take me to recoup? Because what Dangote is now, I'm coming. What Dangote is facing now is what we call the experimental stage.
With whose lives?
It's experimental stage.
With whose lives?
No, if you don't want to respect and believe in the dreams of the tomorrow of that sector, go away. You are not being forced. You should believe in my dreams before you work with me. That is where I can incorporate you in. That is in organizational templates. Everybody that belongs to that organization should witness the organization in transparency. Wait, let's put this is global.
Professor,
TV.
will you be happy? Will you be happy?
I'm coming. I'm coming. Let me finish. I will finish.
I just want to ask you why do
you will ask me. This is global TV.
Indeed.
If global TV starts with just 5 staff, the growth index is that it goes from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 10. So, in the experimental stage, you want the investors to kill themselves? So, if the refinery, like the refinery I make reference to, INA in Croatia, is paying a worker 500,000 per month, and I, who is just starting, you want me to pay 500,000 per month? It's not possible, because INA has been there since 1950 something or 40 something. I am just starting. I'm creeping in the experimental stage. Whether it will collapse, will NUPEC come to count his loss tomorrow? No, if he failed, if the refinery failed, will NUPEC come to contribute?
Professor, it is assumed before any other thing could come up like the way Dangote did, he must have taken into cognizance all these factors.
So these are the factors he has taken cognizance for, and there is no reason why NUPEC should come in.
Then we should be used anyhow?
You are not being used.
We are Nigerians and we are workers.
I am coming. If I come here, if I say I want journalists here, I want workers here today, and I'm offering them 20,000, and they say they are not working, did anybody tell them that you must work?
No.
Is this second-class slavery?
No, but
so are you to tell me how I should pay?
There are societal traits that actually they pull you to carry out certain actions. Not necessarily those actions are good for you.
Looking at.
Not necessarily that they are good for you.
Where they will have
in a situation whereby people are challenged.
Where I will have issues. with Dangote is if he is paying less than the minimum wage, and the union is coming to say, we want to establish our union here because of this, and that. And again, it is not compulsory. They're coming with a union. It's either the staffs agree, the workers agree that we are going to join the union or not.
Will you be happy, Professor? You wake up the next day and you're told that Dangote is selling this product 2,000 naira per liter. Who will you fall back to talk to Dangote? I'm asking you this pertinent question. Who will you fall back to talk to Dangote? Because I believe myself.
When Dangote,
I believe myself I will not be able to go to talk Dangote. And very many might not.
Wait. When Dangote started, we were buying PMS at 1,000 plus. Today, we are buying PMS at less than 1,000.
89.
We are. I don't want. To, I don't want.
You are correct.
At the time it started, it was 1,000 plus.
You are absolutely correct.
Now, it is going. It has come down to less than 1,000. Is it NUPEC that fought it?
Must it be NUPEC that fought for it before it is changed?
And I'm also. I want to also tell you this.
If anything
I want to tell you this because NUPEC has not, on the history of Nigeria, as I know the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers, they have not been able to protect their workers any day. Count me or quote me anywhere. So they will not start it from Dangote Refinery. We know what happened in Nigerian Gas Company in Warri. What did NUPEC did to the workers? Nothing. No form of compensation. So let us not even go there. I know that some people are fueling and propelling this. But you should also know that Dangote very soon will have a very good competitors. Because modular refineries and other refineries are springing up now. And in the next few years, it will have people to contend with. So it is, today we are talking of Dangote. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow it can be Mr. Shola. Next tomorrow it can be Mr. Chukudi. So are we going to start debating NUPEC with all these people? And what is NUPEC bringing to the table? I want to know what they are bringing to the table.
To check the excesses that might have been considered dangerous.
What are the excesses
and
that are
probably
considered?
And making the sector a monopolistic kind of.
What is the excesses that considered dangerous? What is the monopoly?
The monopoly is there
when other refineries are
the monopoly is there because the NNPC refineries are no longer working.
And
if they are not working, he becomes the sole owner or the sole producer of this particular product.
But I am telling
and then he decides what comes out of it.
No,
picking the price.
No, that is what they were saying when he entered into the cement industry. But today, we have different cement companies.
But are we getting it better? We are not. And that's the fear.
No, there is no fear. The moment our economic stabilize, these fiat and fear indices,
Professor, economy cannot stabilize in a situation whereby the person who handles the system operates it in a way that is going to be beneficial to him.
No, I beg to
because we are not.
I beg to disagree with you because one, we just finished an election in Ghana just last year, and the swearing-in ceremony was very early this year. If you watch, what was the cedis to dollar last year? About 20-something cedis to a dollar. What is this CD to a dollar today?
I don't know.
So you find out that within just some few months, Ghana has been able to bring up their currency to a reckoning international standard currency. So if we are able to make a break and build our economic powers, we don't need all this talk.
But Professor,
the price of oil
if Ghana is able to raise the value of its own currency to international level, in our Nigeria, we're individual who's supposed to be supportive in making sure.
Are you going to support to your detriment? No. When he was building this refinery, when he started the foundation of the refinery, I can tell you that the dollar to a naira was 165 or about 200. Today, the dollar is about 1,600. So, what did you want him to do? To choke himself in the course of recovery? And I'm telling you that he's going
has it been of help to Nigerians coming up with an individual refinery like the way Dangote is?
Is Dangote
looking at the way we were when there was no rival?
Are you making Dangote to become a socialist when he's a capitalist?
As much as is
no, is Nigeria a socialist country?
Should be milk.
No, is Nigeria a socialist
Professor,
country?
we should be milk because
is Nigeria a socialist country?
We both operate socially and capitalist.
No,
government supports in many ways.
No,
then
we are capitalist.
In a way, but there is a combination.
There is no way.
There's a combination socialism and capitalism in this government.
No.
Why am I saying so,
Professor? Are you having free medical care? No. Are you having free medical care?
It might not be free per se.
Are you having free medical care?
There's a leverage to it.
Are you having free medical care?
It might not be free per se.
Are you having free education?
What I'm saying, it might not be totally free. It might not be totally free.
Are you having free education?
When you say free, as in parents will not pay anything, you mean?
Yes. Are you having free education?
There are some places like that they don't pay.
Where?
Some states they don't.
Which state? Mention one.
There are very many of them really, from primary to secondary school.
Where? Which state?
I wrote exam in my days when I was secondary school. Let me give you an instance. I finished from Teachers College in Kaduna, Kaguru. From 1 till I finished, I never paid anything, and they paid my my examination fee. I only went in to sit and write and wrote the exams. That was what really happened.
What year?
So at the point there was this thing happening. There were so uniforms for us.
What year?
It's been a long time, really.
Yes. So now, what I am saying, Nigeria is no longer practicing that. We are a pure capitalist nation. You pay medical, you pay for education, you pay through the nose on your feeding. There is no subsidy for food even. In fact, go to a restaurant and eat. There is a law in Nigeria that says that if you eat food in those days without meat and you did not pay, it is out of hunger. They can't take you anywhere. Try it now. Go and try it now.
I will not try.
So that is the point.
That's the funny part of it.
So that is the point. So Nigeria is a pure capitalist nation, and you don't expect Dangote to be a different person.
So now that there is this fear that the tendency the country might fall into is strike, and if it occurs,
anybody that goes to strike based on this issue of NOPEC.
What do we do with the person?
In fact, we should tie him up and shoot him at gunpoint.
I don't think so.
No, yes, because who is financing them? Somebody is financing them.
And I ask you, is it an empirical research you are making?
How many people? Where
is it so empirical in nature? What you are saying?
Where do they get
facts?
Where do they get concession from?
Which people?
Them. Who gave them the approval?
To go on strike, you mean?
Yes.
I told you they have...
What level? What is in their
manifesto? An organized labor.
We want to see the manifestos.
An organized labor.
And we want to see what they have done over the years.
Not about knowing what they have done over the years. Like I just said that...
The same people who collected money from Capital Oil to go on strike against NNPC. Is that the people I have to trust? What are we talking about? Is it because we say we should not mention names? There are are things you do and you have the integrity.
Okay,
you have integrity. You have
let's,
the value.
and
people will say yes, you have done it.
Professor, let's round off the program in this way. There's tendency Nigeria, that sector might go on strike. And if it happens like the way they are saying it, if federal government refuses to step in, or if it steps in and they refuse to listen to the federal government, both sides, the Nupeng and that of Dangote, will you say it's okay? Just in a nutshell.
The truth is that nobody is forced to join a union. No organization is forced to join a union.
They will be picketing companies and ask you to leave.
You have no right, then that is criminality. It is illegal.
Okay.
It's illegal. Even you telling your adult daughter to go with a man without the concept of her is illegal. You can't picket anybody's company because you were not there from the beginning.
Okay, Professor. I think we're getting closer to the size of the program, and I want you to say one thing: advising government and whoever you think you can advise before we draw the curtains.
The Labor Ministry, in fact, the minister, is supposed not to allow this to take place, not to even bring it to debate.
Okay.
The labor organization we have in Nigeria has never given value to labor. Until Nigerians start receiving value for labor, that is when people will not have confidence in them.
Yeah.
But when your integrity is at stake, you have no right to impend laws into people's minds.
All right, Professor.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Well, that's about the size of the program. Big Talk on Global TV. My guest was Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. He is an in-house analyst, and you listened to him. He's a professor, and actually I learned a lot from what he said. All that we're simply saying as Nigerians, let's try as much as possible to avert whatever might consider to be an impending strike, if it does happen like the way they are saying it. We are not ready to get involved in it, and whatever will be issues that are supposed to be resolved, let that be done so that we get back as a country and keep moving and source for our lives, our daily bread. Well, that's how far we can go. My name is Topsy Gimba, sitting in for my colleague, Ubong Usoro. Do have a very lovely evening, and bye-bye.